Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to begin with television, but we're going to end with the most important thing that the rabbis ever did for the world, just to lay out the ark. So I've noticed over the last few months that I seem to basically only be able to rewatch television shows that I've already seen before. Now, I'll be honest, I don't get a lot of TV time in my life, but the little bit that I get, usually around 1 or 1:30 in the morning, I spend watching stuff that I've seen. Mostly, it's been The West Wing and The Lord of the Rings. That's how I unwind. And I actually read an article that this is a phenomenon that is happening to a lot of people, and actually has since the pandemic, that people rewatch TV shows again and again and again. And the author of the article sort of posited that it has to do with stress and chaos. As the world around us gets a little bit more stressful, a little bit more unknown, a little bit more chaotic, we think to ourselves, I'd really rather just watch a rerun of Friends, because I know what's going to happen. I know what the jokes are. I know what everyone is. It's not stressful. It's not hard. You know what's happening. And so I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and we were going through sort of these are the shows that I've been sort of watching and re-watching, and there's a few others, and he said, oh, yeah, I get it. They all have a theme. And I said, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, you have been watching The West Wing a lot, The Lord of the Rings. These are about, the whole premise of The West Wing, by the way, if you don't watch the shows, don't worry, we're almost done with the TV part of our talk today. But this is an Aaron Sorkin drama about the president and the president's staff, and they, try to do good in the world, and et cetera, and there's a lot of nice speeches. And the basic premise of this show is that a small group of dedicated people, if they work hard, can in fact change the world. Which is basically the same thing as The Lord of the Rings as well, right? A small fellowship of people in the face of overwhelming evil, if they work hard, they can save the entire world. And my friend said, that makes sense. That's how you want to feel about your life. And maybe it's a complex I have, we can talk about it in therapy. But he said, what I've been watching and rewatching is The Wire, which is the exact opposite of these, right? So if you've watched the David Simon show, The Wire, it's about Baltimore and different aspects of crime and politics and education in Baltimore. And the basic premise of that show is that no matter how hard anyone works, the system will crush you, and there is nothing that can be done. And we talked about how these were the two shows that we're sort of rewatching, which kind of reflect and reinforce the mood of how I imagine many of us feel looking at the world today. The world today is a little uncertain, it's a little chaotic, and it's probably very stressful. And one could feel like, gee, I need to save the world right now. What can I do? Who can I call? Where can I give money? What can I volunteer to? What can I be doing in order to make everything better? Or we might think, there's absolutely nothing that I can do to make anything better. And these two moods, my friends, are reflected in the Parsha, here we are, in the Parsha that we read today. Because we sort of start from Exodus through to this moment in the Aaron Sorkin world of thought. Right? It's happening. A small band of dedicated people, Moses, Aaron, Miriam, Joshua, they are fighting against the greatest superpower in the world, and they win. It helps to have the creator of the universe on your side, but they win. They do that thing. They get out. They bring the people. It's happening. But somewhere along the way, we're doing census, we're building the Mishkan, something happens, and they hit a wall. And they hit that wall today in the form of the people rebelling, despite all their best efforts, despite Moses spending all day and all night adjudicating every single thing until Yitro comes to tell him to stop. Right? All of that, the people rebel and they build a golden calf. And in that moment, we sort of enter into The Wire. And it seems to not matter what anyone does. The people are going to rebel. And for those of us who've read ahead and who've read Nevi'im, we know that's what's going to keep happening. It doesn't matter how good the prophet is. It's only going to work for a little bit of time before the people rebel, and then God punishes them, and we do this whole cycle over and over and over again. And so these two moods, relatively accurately reflected of the hope and putting our hope in a small group of people, or there is no hope, I think comes to a beautiful conclusion at the end of the Parsha. Because once Moses and God are done punishing the people for the golden calf, they give a few more rules and a few more rituals. And I think that the tikkun, the fix to the golden calf, is fascinating and brilliant. Because right after the calf, the people have sinned, they've built this, it's been destroyed, they had to drink the water with its ashes, they've been humbled, and God says, let me tell you about Pesach. And now I'm going to tell you about Shavuot and Sukkot, and we're going to run through the holidays. And that is, I think, a beautiful answer to what's going on. Now, all of our classical commentaries have this issue of why on earth, after the greatest theological sin that our people have done, are you telling me about Pesach and the holidays? And so some say that it is a reminder. One of my favorites is Balaturim says that the reason Pesach comes right after the golden calf is to teach you that idolatry needs to be like chametz on Pesach. You can't have any of it. It has to all be destroyed. Okay, that's nice. One says, this is another good one, Dad Zekinim says, the reason the festivals come right after the golden calf is a reminder to not add more things, right? God says, these are the festivals, don't add golden calf day to your calendar, which was probably pretty clear from, the shattering of the tablets and the destruction of the calf and the plague and all of that. But Dad Zekinim says we also needed this reminder of the Chagim. But then comes Hamek Davar and says, no. The holidays are meant to teach us the root of all spirituality, the root of service to God. That's why we have these holidays. And so let's think about what this is, the root of spirituality and service to God that the holidays come to fix for what happened. And I'll tell you by way of one last TV show. Because the answer to whether we're thinking a West Wing world or a Wire world comes in the form of perhaps the greatest television show to ever be made, Parks and Recreation. You saw that coming? I saw, okay. How is Parks and Rec? This is a story, it's a Michael Schur show about the Parks and Recreation Department of Pawnee, Indiana. And what do we learn from this? A small group of dedicated, non-jaded, lovely people can, in fact, affect great change and better the immediate world around them. We're not talking the world, we're talking Indiana, okay? And that is what the holidays come to teach us as well. God is saying to the Israelites, you all have spiritual power. You all have religious responsibility. You all have something to contribute to the people. We're going to do it at your table. We're going to do it on the synagogue. We're going to do it in small groups. That's the way that this is going to work. Not we give all of the authority to Moses and Aaron and a few people. Not there's absolutely nothing you can do, don't even try. But what does your Pesach Seder look like? What does your table look like? Whom are you inviting? Who do you celebrate with? Holidays teach us something important about religious life. We have to be together. We have to balance different ideologies. We have to balance different traditions. You want to eat some rice. I don't eat rice. Okay, how are we going to have a Seder together? Holidays make everyone work together in order to create something holy. And that's what we're tasked with in our world as well. When Alexis de Tocqueville toured around the U.S. and wrote on American democracy and talked about how great it was, right? The main chap, the takeaway from that was that the diffusion of power into smaller governments was a thing that empowered the entire citizenry and would make the project of American democracy, unlike others, endure. And the same thing is true of our religion. And friends, it's endured from Ki Tisa to today, because everyone here has power. Everyone here has the ability and the responsibility to try to better the world around us if we do it in the right scope and if we do it with other people. As American Jews, when we look around and we see a chaotic world, we are heirs to two great traditions of diffusion of power, of saying that everyone has the ability to, this is the big finish, Sage. Everyone has the ability, you just, hold on one second, we're almost at a don't alarm. You see where I'm going, okay? All right, yeah, excellent. Everyone here has the power to create a better world. Everyone here has the power to create a better table, a better home, a better family, a better shul. We work within our communities, we work within our families, we do it together, we bring others with us, and that is how we own the power that God has given us. That is how we can make the world around us a better place. Shabbat Shalom.